Now, as many of you may have noticed, Assata Shakur has suddenly popped up again as one of the big terrorists that we need to go after now. Just all of a sudden, after 40 years after 40 years from her alleged crimes, now, all of a sudden now we have to put out information about her. We have to get a 1-800 number running so that people can report where she is. Except that she's been in Cuba since 1979. So why do we have to have a 1-800 number to report her position? She's being protected by the Cuban government and has been so since 1979. Which makes it all wonder, why bring her up all of a sudden? Why focusing on her? If she's on the terrorist list, there's nobody more important or bigger. There's no some kind of Al-Qaeda head that we should be looking at, or some other terrorist group out there somewhere. Like, I don't know, the one that just blew up the Boston Marathon, maybe? Well, it makes it very strange why Assata Shakur would all of a sudden become this big media thing that we all have to watch out for. Unless, of course, it's because she's in Cuba. And Cuba was just declared by the United States a state that supports terrorism and hides terrorists. Which is absolutely goddamn laughable, considering terrorist attacks are launched from the United States and are funded by the U.S. taxpayer. You know, those ones in Miami that actually bomb the Cuban sugarcane fields, set them on fire, have bombed buildings, Alpha 66 or Omega 66, something like that. A bunch of, anti-communist, terrorist groups, because they literally go around killing innocent people in Miami. And the United States seems to think that, Cuba is a terrorist state? For what? What supposed terrorism is carried out from Cuba? That's an absolute joke. It's almost based on literally nothing, while being claimed by the biggest goddamn terrorist organization in the world, the United States. Syria, Libya, not to mention the actual U.S. Army itself. I mean, there's all kinds of things. It's absolutely ridiculous. Well, the fact is, a lot of people have recognized this for what it is, just political maneuvering, just for the point of attacking Cuba. Which makes the whole thing seem very strange. It seems that now, when more people than ever agree with ending the embargo, it's all of a sudden Cuba is now a state that sponsors terrorism. There's very strange timing about all this, huh? There's just nobody else more important to focus on the terrorist list. There's no Al-Qaeda cave operative somewhere. Has to be this woman who basically hasn't shown her face in public since 79? It's ridiculous. This is nothing more than pathetic political maneuvering against Cuba, and coming from the most hypocritical possible source.